Southport Fernery has only been open for a few years to the public. It has undergone a lot of renovation over the past few years. But now you have these really amazing ferns around you. Some of them that probably look quite familiar to you because they would have also been around during the time of the dinosaurs. Okay guys, let's go and have a look at the fernery then. So ferns, they do need a lot of water to reproduce, but they also need a lot of water to actually grow. Hence why it's really warm in here at the moment. So ferns come in all different shapes and sizes. We have sometimes our tall ferns. Come over here. Also a lot of very, very small ferns. Ferns can also differ vastly in their different kind of like shapes. So if you come over here, you can see two different ferns that look very, very different. This fern, for example, is highly divided, so there's a lot of little kind of like leaves coming off the stem. On the other hand, here what I got in my hand, in this pot, is also a fern, but looks very different and has an entire leaf, so only one leaf coming directly from the roots. Also, what's interesting about this particular species of fern is it grows epiphytically. That means it grows on top of trees in the rainforest, whereas the tree fern over here grows terrestrially on the ground, so it doesn't grow on top of trees. Did you guys know there's over 13,000 different fern species in the world? Most of them grow in tropical locations, but there's a lot of them in UK as well. In fact, there's over about 100 species of ferns just alone in the UK. I'd like to introduce you to Alison. She's one of the volunteers here at the Fernery, and she's going to tell you something really amazing about some of these fern species today.
Hello. Well, this first one here, which we christened Big Bertha because you can see it is quite big. This one is originally from Mexico, and you might be able to see that it's covered with hairs at the bottom. And people used to use these to stuff their mattresses and pillows. Right, well this very lovely fern comes from the Robinson Crusoe Islands. If you haven't heard of Robinson Crusoe, he was based on a man called Alexander Selkirk, who was just abandoned on these little islands and had to look after himself for 4 years. This fern only grows on those islands in the wild, and this has been propagated for us by the Royal Botanic Gardens, Edinburgh. We're very proud to have it. So this is one of the water ferns. The only thing related to this that we have in Britain is called hillwort. It's also called water clover because you can see it looks like a four-leaf clover, and it has its sporocarps, they're called, are down at the bottom, but I don't know if we can find any.
Very different from a lot of our angiosperm plants, our flowering plants, because they don't have any flowers and they don't have any seeds. What they do have, however, is spores. I'm going to show you some spores now. So this lovely little fern is called the blue star fern, or also known as Phlebodium arearum. And like most of our plants, including angiosperms, our flowering plants, ferns have little pores on the underside of the leaf surface, and these little pores, the microscopic little pores, they can open and close during the day. And a lot of ferns, they lose a lot of water through these little pores. So when they photosynthesize, so they produce like sugar and carbohydrates from the sun, they're losing a lot of water. And that water loss kind of like contributes to a lot of the atmospheric climate conditions we have in our forests these days. I would like to introduce you to Steph. She's one of our students and she has a keen interest in plants. Steph, tell us, why do you like ferns?
I love ferns because they look like they're something out of the past. And ferns were around when the dinosaurs roamed the earth. I also love that they can grow in big, tall tree shapes and also really, really small. And I also love ferns because they reproduce via spores and not seeds.